Which, hey, everybody, welcome to the Pittsburgh Podcast Meetup for August 2nd, 2025. This is our fifth podcast meetup. It's a lot of fun. We have at least 21 podcasters here tonight in the Pittsburgh area. We had pizza, we had drinks. I hope everybody's full. There are some pizzas left, so please take them home with you when the show is over tonight. I only have like 40 slides, right? That doesn't sound like a lot. We should get through this pretty quickly. Stop checking your watch. But some of the slides tonight are interactive. They're fun. We'll participate on your phone. You'll give some data to the audience, and we'll understand your levels, your skill levels, what you've been working on, and probably the most important question we'll ask first. But I want to welcome everybody to the world's first, which I believe nobody has tested this to me in a year, but this I believe is the world's first dedicated podcast theater. People have tried different things, and obviously it's a similar business model to like a comedy club. Like a comedian could just be up here doing comedy, not revolutionary, but having a space that's dedicated to live podcasting that can live stream, that's pretty unique. I haven't seen things like that. I've seen bars that have a little stage in the corner, or coffee shops that have a back room, but you don't see a theater space like a comedy club's dedicated to comedy. You don't see that for the podcasting space. And when I show you things that are happening, you'll be like, oh, these should be in every city. And I think I'm a little bit ahead of the curve, but I think the model that you're seeing now is going to start popping up in Baltimore, in Cleveland, in Cincinnati. And what's going to happen is maybe I still work a full-time job, but maybe on a weekend I want to do a little road tour. I'll go to the Cleveland Poduty. No, it doesn't have to be Poduty, but the Cincinnati Poduty. I'm a Poduty all over the place. Poduty, but Baltimore, we'll be able to go and do these little tours as small independent podcasters. And I grew up in skateboarding, right? As you can tell by my boot. It's still a big place in my heart. But I grew up skateboarding. I grew up in punk rock and indie rock and this DIY mentality. And that's what really drew me into podcasting. Like, I love that all of us are independent creators, and we're able to produce something, put it out into the world, get some feedback, and do it again, do something else, keep building on that. And that's how powerful this medium is. None of us are mega, Ted Turners or, corporate conglomerates. We're producing these things ourselves in our houses, our home studios, our basements. And we're putting we are the owners of that content and pushing that out to the world. That is something that you couldn't do 25, 30 years ago. Like, there's a difference obviously in cost, but WPXI as a news station has cameras that record somebody at a desk that broadcast out to the world. This is the same level of communication as a television studio, but it didn't cost $1 million a camera. I did it for like $5,000. Like, I built a TV studio on the cheap, and it's able to be reproduced, and you're able to come in here and do shows. And I'll show you all this stuff, tonight. I've already taken some of you behind the curtain. I love to show off a little bit of the technology that powers this place. But the website, Poduty.com, hopefully that's where you went to register. A lot of you came from Facebook, which is great. That's how we meet a lot of people. Tonight, we have an agenda. I want to welcome everybody, which we've been doing for the last hour. We had a great introduction section prior to this where we got to meet everybody in the room. We heard new podcasts, new genres, and I already saw business cards and notes being passed and taken. So please stick around even after the Q&A wraps, and say hi to each other. If you heard something that was interesting, meet that person. How can you help each other? Can you collaborate? Can you be guests on each other's shows? So what have we been up to, right? We were doing these all the way up through April. The May one, I had a little bit of an issue where I decided to skateboard at 50 years old, almost 50 years old, and I popped my Achilles. Not a great injury to have, I'll be honest with you. Achilles is not fun. It's something I wouldn't even wish on like an enemy. So we're going to talk about what we've been up to and what you've been up to as well this summer. Live podcasting is the future. This model that you're seeing, and when I show you numbers, you'll be like, oh, that's more practical for 90% of podcasters than trying to do some other things that people say are the right things to do, there are ways to do podcasting. There are ways to monetize your podcast. We already had some great stories coming in, but for 95% of the people, those options probably aren't the right options at this point in your journey. And I didn't lock the door. That was a joke. But I'm going to make you all an offer that you can't refuse. There's no way. I'm not asking for a contract. I'm not asking. You won't even have to give me any money. How about that? That's the teaser. How can you refuse just that part of it? And then we'll do a Q&A, which has been the highlight of this event, is everybody's asking their own questions, where they're at in their journey. And I'll stop talking for some of them. You don't want to hear me answer every question, but we'll also pass the mic to get different answers and different perspectives. So whatever problem you might be having, you might get another entry-level person and how they tackle that problem. You might get somebody who's produced 20, 30 episodes, and you might get somebody that's produced over 100 episodes, all giving you 3 different points of view of how to answer that. So, are you connected? This is the one that tests to make sure everybody's participating. Go over to menti.com, type in that code, and this is important. This is a very important slide. It helps me know what kind of pizza should I order. So one of you, 100% of you so far had enough pizza. Everybody got enough pizza? Yes. Then you give there's pizza and drinks. Please get enough and take some with you too. I don't want to take any home. We have 10% didn't know there were pizza. Wait, there was pizza. No one told me. As soon as you come in, there's pizza, and take it home with you. So this is just a fun little thing to make sure that you're connected. This was obviously a test. A couple cats are getting hit. So our second question, this one's more important, right? Now that we know that some of you have connected, you want to go to menti.com and type in that code. So where are you on your podcast journey? Are you just testing the waters? Have you recorded an episode, but you know, like, I don't want to release it. I'm like, my voice, I don't look great on camera. If you're hearing my voice and seeing me on camera, anybody can do this. You publish 1 to 10 episodes. You publish 11 to 49, 50 to 99, and 100 plus episodes. And I did it like this on purpose, just to show you the skill level of the room. So if you look at the top row, it's testing the waters, or you just recorded but haven't released, or you did 1 to 10 episodes. That's our entry level. Our very beginner podcasters are here tonight. So a lot of people are learning. Podcasting is growing rapidly. People are very interested in this medium and how to build their own show. And if you look at it, I know more people aren't voting. We have 8 of you are in that top row. Now we have a couple of you that are on your way to 100, and a couple of you over 100. So that's pretty good. So when we go to the Q&A tonight, you're going to get a lot of different perspectives on the ways to handle some of your biggest podcasting challenges. So, hey, it's my boot. Hey, what have you been working on since the last Pittsburgh podcast meetups? Now, this is a lot of new faces tonight, which I love to see. And typically this is 60, 70% new faces. So when you come back at the end of or beginning of September, you're going to meet 60% new people again. You'll meet some new podcast faces. So I want to know, what have you been working on while I've been in this boot, not being able to do anything? I've been sitting in a recliner. I'm serious. What have you been working on? We're going to build a word cloud, and that you can give me the name of your podcast. You can tell me if you say where you vacationed, any kind of plans that you had, and anything that you've been doing. It's going to pop up here. Hopefully we keep it family friendly. So you can, did you have a great sandwich this year? Did you run out of gas, or did you buy an electric and like, how do I charge this thing? Did you have any good surgeries? There we go. Look at this. They're coming in. And we have 50 people in here, and you can put unlimited answers. So once you hit submit, I set it up that if you start getting inspired, keep pumping in ideas. What else have you done? Look at this. So I'll give you guys a screenshot. This is your neighbor. This is what you're learning about the people sitting next to you. These are things that they've been working on as well. And the bigger they are, the more times people have said that. So working on ideas is something that a lot of you are working on right now. A couple of you have said that. We got lawn care, purple butterfly, theta wave, my guests tonight, the Oracles of Pittsburgh, comedy shows, having guests. So it's a pretty cool way to know one another and see what we've all been working on. I'll let it run for a little bit. Somebody is plugging their own little. Oh, Norm, why'd you look at me? So it's pretty cool. So this is things that's happening just with the people sitting next to you, their podcast and their ideas. So I'm flattered here. What have I been working on that you didn't ask about that I'm going to tell you anyway, right? Hey, I'm still in the boot. Well, while I was in the boot, my wife and daughters decided to adopt 3 cats. So I'm not sure why the one has such hairy ears. I'm worried it might be part Maine Coon, which is like a. I was like, but they're brothers and sisters. So now I'm a little worried that we might have like 3 30-pound cats in the house. So that's something that I've been working on, and I've been sequestered to the room that the cats are getting used to the house in. We have 2 other cats. Now we have 5 cats total, and I'm living in the room with 3 of the cats. The other 2 they're not ready for them yet. But I've been doing that. I answered your question earlier. How do we stay connected after this? The Pittsburgh Podcasters Live group on Facebook. We had 20 members when we started tonight, so I'll know if anybody else joined, which I would appreciate. You can scan that QR code. I put the QR code on there. I built that. Facebook doesn't have a QR code. I added that now that I look at this slide. You can scan the QR code. Please join it. It's a way to stay connected. I'm going to keep it lean and mean. It is only about people doing live shows. If you promote your podcast or here's a link to my RSS feed, delete. If you're going to do a live performance at a coffee shop, at a bookstore, at a library, that's going to stay. We want to promote these live appearances, and I'm going to show you why as we get into the math of tonight. I also launched a new podcast, My Guest Tonight, with Jeff Revilla. This is a lot of fun. I've had psychic mediums. I had a guy who was a Dudist priest. He does weddings dressed as the Big Lebowski. Kathy Nesbitt does worms. She grows worms in her house. Parzival, he is an AI god. And Leanne Linsky, she owns a platform called Plausible. If you've ever heard of Plausible in the comedies sector, it's an online comedy club. Jeffrey Barnes is Dr. Disneyland. So for each of my guests, I write a custom AI song. So each guest gets their own personalized song, and I stopped telling people about it before they come on. Like I used to ask, like, "Hey, what's your favorite music?" And I would tell them I'm doing this. But now they don't know for some reason. Like, I know they're not listening to my show. These people that I'm booking, but I say, "Hey, like we have Sarah Jamgott. She's a New York filmmaker. We're talking this and that, and her series, this series, and that series." And let's go to that intro music, and it's a song about her, and she doesn't know that it's coming. She's like, "Holy heck, like this is crazy! Like you wrote a song about us." So it's a great podcast. This is something I've been working on. I do another trivia show. If any of you have Armstrong cable, any Armstrong cable people around here, on channel 100 is the Armstrong Neighborhood channel. I do a trivia show called Stuff I Never Knew. So if you like, it's family-friendly trivia. We make it for television. If you want to, if you have Armstrong, which nobody in this area ever does, but you can also watch it on YouTube or stuffineverknew.com. Also, the whole reason why you're here tonight and the whole vision that I have for this crazy place is Poduty in the News. If you like live podcasting and you think that there's something to this, maybe you don't quite know it yet, you don't quite understand. If you like seeing that thumbnail of me all the time, I use it apparently every time, and I change the background. There's a little each background. I use the artwork from the articles I'm going to talk about. So I probably put way too much thought into it, and nobody notices that there's like 5 different pieces of artwork behind me. But Poduty in the News, it's news.poduty.com. If you go to the website and you click our podcast, this is one of the ones you'll see along with Stuff I Never Knew. But every Monday, it's live stories about live podcasting. And most of the time, I record it live right here at the Poduty Podcast Theater. So why? Why am I doing this? Why is Poduty in the News? It's because I started to notice this trend. this was these are things happening. There's a lot happening, and in this example, two of the biggest actors right now, directors, Apple TV stars, Seth Rogen, Ben Stiller, they're going to a live taping of Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. So this is going to be in Beverly Hills coming up. Right? You have Nick Cannon has a new podcast coming out, a Love Advice, like a Dr. Ruth show coming out. It might not be Dr. Ruth related, but it'll definitely have some interesting conversation. So it's a podcast format. It's a YouTube series, but there's a lot of podcast elements to it. Shaq and Mike Tyson. Shaq does all kinds of live appearances. If you ever get a chance to see Shaq is ridiculously hilarious, and he's doing appearances if he's somewhere taping something, he's probably doing a live recording with the audience, like maybe 1,000 people, just whoever's attending that sporting event. He's there doing things like this. Kayla Harrison went back to her hometown, did a live podcast. Nick Star, Jalen and Josh Hart, they're doing this big block party. They did it last year. They're doing again. They're doing their podcast live. We have things like JP Morgan booking Radio City Music Hall. The financial tech system, the bankers are doing live podcast events. Crypto conferences are doing live podcasting. Higher ed. This is college level professors, teachers going to a conference to talk about how to do podcasts, for their industry, for students, for other teachers. And while you're at these conferences, guess what they're doing at conferences? Live podcasts. There's stage Bs, there's side stages, and there are all these other people who are doing podcasts in that genre are also recording episodes of their show there. So that's one very simple avenue that I'll get into. But PBS just had a big festival. You know what they did? They got like Rick Steves and all these PBS people recording live podcasts during this conference. Here's two radio people that got fired in January. What do you think they did? They started a live podcast, right? They're taking their audience that they built through that radio station and going to places and setting up shows. This podcast, they did the Triple Click live show. These podcasters are insanely talented, not just at podcasting, but they're talented musicians. And if you look at that bottom left picture, look how many people were there to see them do a live podcast and play music, right? These are things that are happening. This one is more in the art space, in kind of maybe a little bit of the anarchist space, but they're doing a live event at an art gallery. They got a DJ, they got beer and wine, and they're exposing things, but in a podcast environment. It's a live show. And the thing about all these stories, these were just the stories I covered in the last 2 weeks. Like those 12 stories, I've whittled down from, I look at hundreds of stories a week, but those 12 are examples of things that are happening right now. They just happened. And people are starting to see podcasting as this thing you do, right? 10 years ago, what was a podcast? Well, I listened to it on my morning commute, or I listen to it in the background while I'm cleaning the house. Right? I listen to it while I'm jogging or at the gym. It was a very passive medium, but it's pivoting so quickly and so fast. People are, I don't want to say people are tired of COVID. I think we're over COVID, but we've isolated ourselves. We've become addicted to just doom scrolling and just staring at our phones. And people are waking up from this now, and they want more out of life. We want vibrant communities. Like, you see what Tarentum's like tonight. I've heard 5 comments. So like, why is everything closed in Tarentum on a Saturday night? We want real experiences. We want to be able to go out, meet people who have thoughts like us. And if I go to a podcast, I heard a political podcast, right? Maybe there's like-minded political people. I can start to meet people, or mental health. I can start to talk and meet people who are like me. And we want more of these environments. We don't just want to go to a concert that's $300 a seat, or even comedians are $100, $200 at a theater. Like, there's things that are priced out of entertainment. This is something I talked with some of you already about. How do you price this? And I'm talking $5, $10, $15 events. These are very affordable, family-friendly events that anybody can do. And the reason I'm saying that is these things are becoming their own thing. Why would the biggest people who are drawing the largest audiences start doing live shows for people? There is a lot more upside when you can tour, when you can bring an audience to a house, when you can do a live show with people. Look at what happened to the music industry, right? Everybody had free music everywhere. I can download anything. I can stream anything anywhere. The value of the music isn't in the recording anymore. The value of the music is in the touring, in the experience. Music knows that. Podcasting is getting to the point where podcasters now see that I can't just release an episode on Monday, go back next Monday and look at my download numbers. Like, I need more than that. There has to be something else. And the same way that podcasts are going to the stage, that they're going in front of people, the same way that musicians, or people think about musicians, they go to music venues, right? They think of comedy clubs to see comedians. You think of musicals and plays at theaters, at schools. You think of losing your inheritance, right? You think of going to Vegas. These things are what's happening to podcasting right now. People are performing these shows in front of audiences bigger than what we heard Kill Tony already reference, selling out Madison Square Garden 2 nights in a row at the AET Center. Like, these podcasts are drawing these audiences, and people are pivoting their form of entertainment to live in person. I see the QR code coming back up. I wonder why. But if you're here now, something about this event, something about what we're doing here has piqued your interest, right? You recognize something is happening and you came out. I hope it wasn't just for the pizza and the drinks, that you saw something bigger here than just pizza and drinks. So let's go over to that question. More than one window. Oh, no, it won't work. No. Well, I remember what the question is, so I'll ask the audience. Let's see, can I get past it? Okay, whoop, there we go. We'll go back to here. Here's the question. If your business model was, I want to record a podcast, I want to build an audience, and I want to read ads or have ads placed in my podcast, what do you think the amount of money you can charge per 1,000 downloads? Or what's the average going rate per 1,000 downloads? And I had numbers in there, $20, $50, $100, $200. So if you got 1,000 downloads, what's the average going rate of a host read ad per 1,000 downloads? $20, $25? Yeah. Depending on your niche. Depending on your niche. Am I'm turning Canadian in your niche. Your marketing, depending on your niche, yeah, $25, $50. $20 is, I think I was using 20 as an average on here. And why do I think this is a weird thing to chase? And why do I think this place is probably an alternative for 90% of people? And I wonder, are we chasing the right goals? And by that, I mean, if you look at the top 1% of podcasts and their first 7 days to download, and please, none of this is to discourage anybody from, like, this is just the facts of what podcasting is. The top 1% of podcasts average in their first 7 days of download 4,200. This is based on Buzzsprouts. The top 5% in the first 7 days are getting about 1,000 downloads. The top 10% are getting about 500 downloads in their first 7 days. Now, I would argue probably in a month, the top 10% are probably reaching that 1,000, because what you'll see is a huge download spike when you first publish, and then it'll taper off quickly for about 3-4 days, and then it kind of just meanders through. So for 90% of people, they're not going to get to the 1,000 downloads. And if the metric that we're chasing is if you record a podcast and you read an ad, you'll get $20 per every 1,000 downloads that you get. And now there's other things. Obviously, you could have newsletters and different niches do different things. But just for that thing that almost all podcasters talk about, we want to create a podcast and we want to do ads, and that's how we're going to make money. It's a big hill to climb. And you should still do it. You should still do your podcast and record it and release it. 1,000 downloads times $20 per 1,000 is about $20 ad. So if you can get 1,000 downloads in a month, that podcast is worth about $20 per ad. But, spoiler alert, what if I told you there was a way to make the same amount of money with 4 downloads? I put it in quotes up there, so I thought I should read it in quotes. With 4 downloads, and here's the answer. You're sitting in it. This is you guys. You are sitting in the answer right now. And let me tell you why. If we look at the download numbers from Buzzsprout and we look at what we're doing here, look at the Poduty math. If you host a live version of your podcast and you sell 4 tickets at $10, 4 people showed up tonight with the $10 ticket. The way the business model works is it's a 50-50 split at the end of the night. You go home with $20. So 4 people watching your podcast in real life has the same value as 1,000 people downloading your podcast in a month, right? 4 people here. So when we're looking at a business model and we're looking at what can we do that's equal to, right? This is the same. This little group right here equals the same amount of 1,000 people downloading my podcast, and I'm trying to get the host right at. For 95% of podcasters, that is so much more achievable than trying to get to 1,000 downloads per episode on average. And I just put that out there just to give you a little bit of a concept. Think of this as a little bit more abstract than you've been thinking about podcasting. Because I don't want you to just sell 4 tickets. What if you sold 8 tickets the next time and you sold 20 tickets and you just keep growing that live audience? This becomes something else. Then all those other things start to show up too. My argument is instead of chasing the download number and the host ad, start building in-person communities. Those things will deliver way more value because we know that the value of a digital download is about 2 cents, but the value of somebody being in a theater is $10, right? We value cars that way, right? A Kia isn't the same price as a Lamborghini. Somebody downloading a digital file isn't worth the same as somebody who came out to see you. It's 250 times greater. So our focus should be, why aren't we building this community in our community? Why aren't we having these live shows? And from there, these other things will start to fall into place. Let's flip that script a little bit. Well, should my daughter told me I wasn't allowed to do the impression, so I'm not. I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Oh, thank you. Well, she's also my ride home, so I'm in trouble. I saw some cats popping up on that one, so thank you. So this is what I'm thinking. Here's my offer. And you can't say no to this. If you schedule your show to be performed on this stage, I will guarantee a $100 payout. There's no contract, no minimum ticket sales. Try it out, right? But wait, there's more. Plus, I will build you the event landing page. I will help manage the ticket sales. We have a whole system we do everything from start to finish. You come to me with an idea, I give you a produced event, and we do everything in between. I will manage your ticket sales. I will produce the event, just like you're seeing this, except actually turn down the house lights for people who are making money. Record your event. I give you back the recording to release as your own episode. I don't take any ownership over your content. At the end of the night, we go behind the curtain, and I'll show you the ticketing dashboard that we sold all the tickets, and we will split that 50-50. No matter what happens, your minimum payout will be $100. So if you sell 5 tickets at $10 and you only make $50, you're going to walk away with the whole $100 that night. I hope we sell a little bit more than that. I'm banking on that, but I will guarantee you a minimum of $100 payout. Well, no, we can do in-person and virtual tickets. So if you wanted to have people watching the stream, sell an additional $5, $10 ticket, you get a. It'll be a private link that's given to the ticket holder, and then from there you'll get the record because we want when you do a live stream, if I'm charging people, we can't just broadcast to Facebook or YouTube, because then people are like, wait, why did I pay? Like, sucker, But what we want to do is we'll have a private area for people to go watch it at home in Portland, Maine, or Portland, Oregon. It's my two favorite Portlands. And they can watch it. Then the link comes down. I give you the recording for you to release on your own platforms. But it should be a private, special event. Only people who paid should get to see it. Then if you want to give it as a bonus to your audience, do that 7 to 14 days or use it to tease up the next live performance. So you're not, can anybody say no to that? That's what I want to know. Oh, wait. I could do that. I could do editing services. Like there's other things I can do to add on. One thing that people love is a beer ticket, a BYOB ticket. So if you do a $10 ticket for an extra $5, you can tease up your ticket price and do a BYOB ticket. Might not be right for all audiences, but now your $10 ticket's a $15 ticket, right? You get $7.50 of every ticket. Yeah, it's on the website too. Everything I say, I promise you I publish somewhere. So go to Poduty.com, Poduty.com, dates and deets for upcoming events at Poduty, Poduty.com. I've gone about I've done about 35 minutes so far. So I was pretty good. I was a little bit longer than usual, but I'm really serious about this. Like, I lost a little bit of momentum because of this injury, right? I wanted this thing to pop off in September, October, so crazy that's why I want to do this offer. No, anybody that's here tonight, if you want to do this, I'll give you like a week to think about it. But if you were here tonight, just tell me you're here tonight. This offer is for you. It's for people who came tonight. Now, hopefully, you sell 20 tickets. Invite friends and family and local people. You get 20, 30, 40 people. Now, all of a sudden, you don't even care about that minimum. But if you sell 0 tickets, you will still get $100, and you'll get the recording, and you'll get to go with all that. That's what I want. I want people to use this theater. I want to put butts in the seats. I want to turn the room over, and I'm going to do this guarantee for anybody that's here tonight. The minimum that you'll walk away with for doing an hour, 90-minute show, you'll get $100 for fun, for funsies. That's not bad. That's almost, I don't know what lawyers make anymore. It's 2025, but I bet a lawyer in 1957 made $100 an hour. You're making 1957 lawyer money. Oh, look at that. Just to entice you, this is a visualization process. Your show here. And I'm about to turn it over. I would love this. I hope you had good food tonight. I hope you had a good time so far. We still have another hour of Q&A. This is where we turn the show over to you. And I see hands are coming up already. Give me 1 second. Please, if you had a good time, I got 7 reviews so far. It'd be nice if I can get to 10 by the end of this week. If you could just leave us a little review on Google, would be phenomenal. Hey, I had a good time. Let's maybe wait till see how the Q&A goes. But I had a great time. I learned some things. I walked away with some knowledge. And the guy that owns this place was crazy. He gave me $100 to come back.